Right. Hello, whiskey lovers. This is Luke here again with another whiskey comparison video. Today I'm continuing my peated whiskey adventure, and I've got two whiskeys here that should be interesting. I have the Ardbeg 10-year-old, and I have whiskey from a new distillery. This is Kilchoman. This distillery was created, opened in 2005. And this is their spring 2011 release. So from what I can tell, this is a combination of 3- and 4-year-old whiskeys from Kilchoman. And it should be interesting to compare the Ardbeg because the Kilchoman is young, for sure. And then the Ardbeg itself tastes young to me in a certain way. So we'll see what we get. Right, so let's start with the Ardbeg. And here's the bottle. I've tasted this before, but I'll show you again. So this is Ardbeg. This is Ardbeg's standard bottling. They have quite a few different expressions. They get a little adventurous with things. I saw one that I think they sent some whiskey or something into space. But yeah, this is just their standard bottle. There you go. You can see the flavor text there. This is bottled at 46% alcohol. It's kind of uncommon for a regular 10-year-old, but Ardbeg is kind of an artisan whiskey, and so usually whiskeys the cheap ones are 40%. This is 46. That's sort of the percentage that the fancier whiskeys generally will bottle at is 46%. Right, so let's get started here. Okay. So, color-wise, very pale, the Ardbeg. Amber minus, on my scale, like amber -4. Let's see, nose. Very bright. Like I said, it smells kind of youngish, but there's a teensy bit of sweetness, a good hint, a good heavy peat, and a distinct sourness. Maybe a little bit of pepper. Like if you were to smell a tequila, I find the tequila has a lot of pepper on the nose. This has just a teensy bit, a little hint of that. Taste. Sweet in a, I would say like a honeyed way. A good balance of smokiness, not overwhelming like a Lefroy. Not a whole lot of pepper there, not very sour in the mouth. So the nose is mostly what's sour here. The Ardbeg is a lot of fun. I highly recommend getting yourself a bottle of Ardbeg 10 and just kind of enjoying it. So I'm going to add a little water here to see if I get anything else. It smells like almost like Coca-Cola to me, like a Diet Coke. Kind of like a seltzer saccharin smell. So I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. I add water to my whiskey. I have found that I like to add more and more over time, just because the alcohol numbs my tongue, and I like to really taste it. So, but one thing I've noticed is that as you add water to peated whiskeys, the smokiness is reduced, but then the underlying flavors will start to come out. So I highly recommend trying that. Even if you don't like adding water, just give it a shot and see if you notice anything different. Tastes very similar, actually, to before I added water. A little less alcohol, but still getting a balanced, sweet, smoky flavor from this Ardbeg. The nose is really fun on this one. Let's move on and see what we get from the Kilchoman. So, right, so this is the Spring 2011 release. Let me show you the bottle. They have been, I believe they did an inaugural 3-year release because you can't release Scotch whiskey unless it's been aged 3 years. So that was their first bottling. And then this came a year after that, I believe. So, well, maybe not. Maybe there were some in between, but oh, I think they had a 2010 release as well. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, so they opened in 2005, and I'm assuming they had whiskey barreled that year. So they probably had their inaugural release in 2008, and then they did perhaps something in 2009. I know they did 2010 and just 2011. They had a spring 2011 release as well as a winter 2011 release, but I went for this one just on a whim. And they do have this Makir Bay. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's one of the newer releases for them. Haven't tried that yet. Right, so let's have a go. Kilchoman also, like Ardbeg, is kind of a artisan whiskey in that they don't do chill filtering or coloring, and they actually note that here. I believe on the Ardbeg they note non-chill filtered. They don't mention no coloring, but because the Ardbeg is so pale, I don't think they really need to. It's obviously not colored. Okay. Kilchoman. So this bottle, you probably can't tell from the video, but the bottle is a little odd to me. Kind of bulbous. The shape just doesn't seem quite right to me, but whatever. Not a big deal. Won't change the taste of the whiskey. Color-wise, this is, I'm going to say amber -3, a little bit darker than the Ardbeg, but just by a hair. So here's the Kilchoman and the Ardbeg here. The Kilchoman actually looks a bit orange to me. There's a hint of orange coloring there, but who knows? So I think I believe the Kilchoman is aged in bourbon casks, and then they do a short 6 or 8 week finish in some kind of sherry cask. So we'll see if we get that sweetness on the nose here. Let's have a sniff. Yeah, so I'm getting that sweet raisiny sherry note for sure. By the way, go out and buy a bottle of sherry. It's like $6. I'll probably do a video about sherry to give you an idea of what's available, what you should get. But you can pretty much just go pick up any bottle of sherry, and you'll get an idea of the sherry note that you'd pick up in a whiskey. Yeah, it's actually the primary note that I'm getting is that sherry. It doesn't smell that smoky to me, but it could be because I've been nosing this Ardbeg. So I don't have any notes on this Kilchoman. I've just been tasting it a bit, and I haven't written anything down yet, so this is kind of off the cuff. Smells a little bit like a sweet lemon rind, maybe an orange rind, just ever so slightly. I get olive, actually, like a black olive, strangely. Not too hot on the nose. This is bottled at 46%, just like the Ardbeg, but that olive note is quite noticeable now. I bet I will never pick that up again, but it's here now. Interesting. Let's have a taste. quite sweet in the mouth. Getting a little bit of that sherry. The alcohol in this is a little bit hotter than the Ardbeg, and sort of expected because this has been aged for less time than the Ardbeg, so it hasn't had a chance to kind of mellow out. So it sort of makes sense. Fruit-wise, yeah, this is mostly like a kind of lemony flavor. Not too strong, but it's there. It's interesting. This is I believe 3 and 4 year old whiskeys combined, and it doesn't actually taste that young to me. It's pretty well balanced, not too like fresh and harsh in the mouth. Let's add a little water and see if anything happens. So I'm getting a little bit of a musty smell, ever so slight. I seem to notice that on whiskeys when I add water, but it's more noticeable here. The olive note has disappeared. Sherry is, well, not quite there anymore. Much less sherry. Sugar-wise, if I had to pick like a sugar color, it would be like that sugar in the raw. Like what color is it? Lighter than brown, but darker than white. Kind of that in between. A little bit of a syrupiness to it, but not a whole lot. Not very heavy. Okay, taste. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't get a whole lot of peat here, although this is very peated. I think I'm desensitized to peat. I may need to switch to something else for a while. There's a light sweetness there. Not getting much of that sherry anymore. It's more just the little bit of that lemon. Our finish is pretty short on this. Not a whole lot going on. Like basically now, there's a little bit of an alcohol feeling left over in my mouth, but not a whole lot of anything else. So yeah, I think this one kind of it's good. I can see that Kilchoman is going in a direction that I definitely would buy more bottles of Kilchoman in the future, of their older malts when they're released. But at this point, it's a little bit young. I think could use a little bit more time. I'm sure he's there now still. Okay, so very good, very interesting comparison. Both interesting to smell. If you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, try the Kilchoman. It's interesting, and it will be fun. I would say buy it and save some in a little bottle for later, for when they do like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old release, and see if you can just see what the comparison is like. Be interesting. Yeah, the Ardbeg 10 has a heavier. I don't know. I think heavier is the word. Just a heavier nose on it. There's more there. You kind of have to fight to pick out notes in the Kilchoman. So I have one little thing before I finish here. I actually poured a dram of Kilchoman yesterday, and it's been sitting for, let's say, 20 hours, I think, with a little cap on it. I thought I'd just see if there's anything different in this glass than there is in the one I just poured. Getting quite a bit more sherry, but I didn't add water to this, so let's see. That may be the wrong thing to do. I don't know. Usually, what you try to do is pour whiskey into a glass and then let it kind of open up for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting more sherry even after adding water to this. Yeah. So perhaps if you buy a bottle of Kilchoman, try letting it open up a little bit more. Maybe you'll find something additional. Who knows? It's an adventure, right? Do what makes you happy. Okay, so that was the Ardbeg 10 compared to the Kilchoman. Both interesting whiskeys. I highly recommend getting yourself a bottle of Ardbeg 10, and if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, get yourself some Kilchoman. Otherwise, wait a little while, a few more years for the Kilchoman. I'm sure they'll have some valued and good whiskey for you to taste. All right, talk to you later, whiskey lovers. Bye-bye.